This project is examining the impacts of recreational cannabis legalization to rural areas of BC, focusing on the Kootenay region of southeastern BC as a case study. I'm conducting key informant interviews within two stakeholder groups, cannabis participant or advocate, and government. My name is Tracey Harvey. I'm a PhD candidate in the Rural Studies program at the University of Guelph. This project is important to legacy cannabis producing economies that proliferated in the 1980s and 90s when natural resource industries declined and cannabis quietly provided a primary or key source of income. Legalization brings cultural and economic restructuring to the hinterlands of BC, adding more complexity to the ongoing long-term economic transition away from a primary natural resource economy. To situate my research topic while building contextual knowledge, I engaged in 4 research and exchange periods and took a virtual trip to rural Mendocino and Campbell counties in California over this past year, funded in part by the Rural Policy Learning Commons. I first traveled to Ontario in early May to present my project, along with what surfaced as local industry concerns from a symposium held in Nelson to Community Futures, Ontario. In July, I made a trip to Sunshine Coast, Vancouver Island, and the Gulf Islands of BC, pragmatically following a BC proposed cannabis co-op's consultation route. In August, I connected with several influential cannabis participants, as well as active local governments virtually, to learn about cannabis legalization experiences in the Emerald Triangle in rural California. For my third R&E trip, I again traveled to the coast in September, this time to attend the Union of BC Municipalities convention in Vancouver and to meet with Dr. Sean Markey from Simon Fraser University. Dr. Markey is a leading researcher in rural place-based policy and an expert in transitioning economies, one of my theoretical frameworks. My final and fourth research and exchange trip took me to St. John's, Newfoundland in early October to share my research project's emerging themes and to participate in a field trip in microbreweries and distilleries. I've learned the Kootenays are not particularly unique when compared to other rural areas of BC or rural Humboldt and Mendocino counties, which were once reliant on natural resources and then moved to cannabis. Cannabis participants, no matter where they are from, refer to cannabis cultivation as farming. It therefore makes sense to look at successes and failures of farming-related policy to apply to the sector. Many government and cannabis participants expressed frustration for their lack of meaningful inclusion in legalized recreational cannabis policy. However, there were voices from both groups who did not share this frustration as to the complexities of agreeing on legalization policy, as well as the fractured nature of the sector today in rural areas. It would be wise to adopt lessons learned from rural policy, like the meat sector, so that graduated licensing is considered and an appreciation for a non-centralized distribution system for perishable products. Also, lessons from community-supported agriculture as well as industrial agriculture can guide progressive strategies while helping to avoid making the same farming mistakes of the past. With climate change on top of mind, there was expressed essentiality for sustainable and regenerative environmental practices in both policy making and business planning. And finally, rural regions with a legacy economy would be well served by applying proven rural economic development strategies to the sector, like supporting entrepreneurs and producing quality value-added products with a cluster development approach. Thank you for your support that has allowed me to dive deeper into research and exchange, foster capacity building, and further my project.